Alright, welcome back. Time for the second half of the games. 3 more games with Argenport Aggro to round out the series. First half didn't go so well this time. A bunch of screw and a fair loss put us at 1-2 for now. Played against the Racano 3 times. Won once where we both were screwed. Lost once to a weird Racano Stone Scar mid-range aggro list due to being stuck on 2. And yeah, then we lost a fairly fair game to a good Racano draw in the third game. This is a really bad hand, but not much we can do. Since it was our redraw already, the first hand was also pretty bad, so we had to redraw and redrew into a terrible hand. So that looks like it's the first video series where the games go pretty bad. Pretty badly, but I mean, that can sometimes happen. 6 games is a small sample size, and sometimes you just get the bad end of the variant. Lose a bunch of games, especially with a deck that is not like a super powerful top deck, but more of a fun brew attempt with some competitive aspiration to it. At least we got some pressure going and got a Dark Return to rebuy it and a million removal to deal with like almost everything that would be thrown at us. Bit unfortunate because now we can only rebuy it as a 4-4 rather than a 4-4 flying that silences. But that's how it goes against Combray usually. At least we have answers for Titans and Seraph and stuff. And also for Combray Healer. Interesting that he's not attacking, but I don't mind. And monument value. This hand really needed this to be a monument and not a sigil. I guess now we gonna rebuy Boomers instead of Silenced Valkyries. But yeah, chances are not too high that we're gonna beat a Combray deck, more mid-rangey Combray deck with this draw. And yeah, as you saw, there was a situation where the fast spell of Annihilate actually mattered because it allowed us to get rid of their turn 5 play and using most of our power on our turn to play our Poomer, where Vanquish would have forced us to either Vanquish or play our Poomer. Just to highlight the upsides of the splits and the different attributes basically on Vanquish and Annihilate, while they both could have killed the Reinhardt in that spot, for example. Actually, that was bad of me. I should have attacked with the Puma as well and just bought it back as a 4-4 lifesteal and replayed it. That was not good. I guess we kind of got rewarded in the sense that otherwise he would have traded here and then killed our 4-4 with the Carnosaur. Another thing worth noting is if this would have been a second Annihilate in that spot, we could have killed the Carnosaur before it would have killed our Puma, which is also an upside of being a fast spell. and worse pointing out. Yes. Well, we are out of removal for fat guys. He's not out of fatties yet. And he has stand together. So yeah, this game is probably over. Yep. We are done here. That Titan into stand together was definitely the nail in the coffin. Alright, next opponent. Going to keep this once again. Once again, a slightly conditional. Good hand, good 2-power hand on the draw. Where we might not be able to play our 1-drop on 1. We have a turn 2 cavalry with some good follow-up if we draw some more power over the next couple turns. And potentially a turn 4 hammer if we draw 2 more power. Or right now, 1 more power. And we got there. Turn 4 hammer it is. And I guess a beetle, hoping he doesn't have a lightning storm. And even if he does have, we just dark return our Crown Watch on 4 and start pumping it up on 5. So I think I'm gonna. I mean, he has a removal here. I think I'm gonna cavalry the paladin, just so if we rebuy it with dark return, it retains the pump from the cavalry. So now we get back a 5-5 Aegis rather than a 3-3 Aegis. And also didn't lose our Hammer of Might for nothing. So that was pretty critical here. I think slapping hammer here is a good plan. If only this was a 3-3, I would have played cavalry and turned this into a 5-5 with cavalry, because then we get to rebuy a 6-6 cavalry with our dark return, which swings the game pretty heavily in our favor usually. Or not, because it's turned into a pig, so good that didn't happen, I guess. Play a couple of units, make the board pretty scary. 5-5 Aegis is pretty scary, especially if there's other things on the board as well. So they don't really have the time to pop the Aegis and kill it. Yeah, that's not gonna win you any games. So, slap this here, he's gonna jump, take 7. Put this here, to jump as well, but we have more bodies in play. Yeah, I think that's probably a good line. And he just scoops. Nice. Yeah, it's deck performs pretty well against this type of deck. Just keep up the pressure, bring on the herd, and eventually just crumble under the pressure. Last game. Let's see if we can pull off a 4-2 with this sweet brew after all. And we are on the draw for the 5th or even the 6th time of this series. And we once again have a 2-power hand that I want to keep on the draw. No 1-drop, but a guaranteed turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Groundwatch Paladin if we never see another power. And double green for our Valkyrie. If we draw a 3rd power that is not green. Like a Shadow Sigil. So, everything perfect. So yeah, the hand developing pretty well. Now we can either play another Groundwatch or Valkyrie if we need to, or even Vanquish something the opponent played. That is perfect. Now we get to play 2 units even to get ahead on tempo, because he paid 3 power to kill our 2 power play, and now we get back with 2 plays for 3 power, so putting us way ahead on the board in terms of tempo. He seems to be on Armory, which is probably worse against our deck than it is against regular Rakano. And a 5-5 Aegis should give him some fits, because currently that's out of reach of his weapons unless the Sword of Icaria enhanced an Auric Runehammer that he drew afterwards. Nice. 5 power, remove target Aegis. I'll take that. I think I'd rather play this guy than play the hammer. Kind of expect him to have a removal for that next turn. And then we can just slap hammer on this one. Oh, he's just dead. I think it's a bit too ambitious, like too much of an all play to hammer this, because then he would be on 8, and then he kills this and we have no board, which is pretty bad. And now we have 2 threats in play. Played it a little slower, but maintained our board position better and more safely, which is important to keep momentum against decks like this. It's too much of an all-in play to have in that turn, because that makes us almost lose the game against 1 removal, where the other play just sets us up to a point where hammer is still great, but we don't lose the game if he has a removal. And that way he just dies. So nice, we could get back from our wonky start and manage to pull off a 4-2. Now you saw the deck in action, saw some of its nice synergies, and also saw that the deck is quite competitive for being a slightly underpowered Rakano-like brew, and this might be the first reasonably playable Argenport archetype in the game currently, so for anyone loving themselves some Argenport, there's your deck. Have fun with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this series as usual. If you found it interesting, informative and or helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and like down below, and follow me on social media for future updates. You can find everything you need underneath the video in the info section, and of course also an importable deck list underneath the deck tech video. Thanks for watching, see you next time, I'm out, bye.